Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Something a little bit different today, but hopefully interesting as we rank your club's striker in a tier list system based on the statistics and their form this season. Of course, we've got a criteria to base this off so we can hopefully get the most accurate tier list. But first of all, I'm going to rank you through the tier list that we've got and the different categories that we've got as well. Of course, you watch your team week in, week out, and you know your club better than I do. You watch these strikers week in, week out. So, of course, this is based on the stats, and you know more than I do, and you'll know more than I ever will know. So please, in the comments down below, have I made this decision right? Have I made it wrong? Are the stats misleading? Because they certainly can be at points. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know who you think the best League One striker has been this season as well. I'll be intrigued, and I'm replying to all of them as per usual. As well, if you want to see more of this content, I've got, some really, really exciting pieces of content planned for the future. But if maybe you want to see this for midfielders, defenders, maybe even goalkeepers, let me know in the comments down below. Do you like this concept and do you want to see it come again before the end of the season? If so, of course, let me know. Leave a like as well. That's really, really helpful. It helps the growth of the podcast. Also, we're now on the road to 700 subscribers. So please be part of that journey. Hit that subscribe button. It's a big red button. Hit it and you'll be subscribed. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified as well, so you'll never miss an episode of the podcast. Right, enough waffle, let's get straight into it. Like I was saying, these are the categories that we've got. You can see at the bottom the 24 strikers that I've picked, and it's important to say and important to notice that I have picked the players and the strikers that have played the most games this season. That's not starts, that's games played. So, yeah, I think it's the best way of doing it. I want to try and get the most accurate stats, and I think it's better if we just do it with the player that's played the most games in your club. I understand he may not be your best striker, but based on this season, he's got to have played at least more than 10 times. So I've picked the player and the striker that's played the most games this season. So the categories are as follow. We've got really struggling, we've got average campaign, we've got good season, he's up there, and elite number 9. So some pretty self-explanatory categories. And the criteria are based on this off, because it's important to have a criteria, not just putting these players in here willy-nilly. We've got to do it with a criteria. The criteria we've got is goals and assists, so goal contributions. We've got goal conversion rate, we've got average rating. So some really, really important stats to base that off as well. Goals and assists for me are very, very important. That conversion rate, of course, is really, really significant. How many chances are you getting? Are you being clinical? Are you taking those chances? That's something really, really important to watch out for and really keep a good eye out for. And, of course, average ratings. That takes into consideration more of the off the ball or away from the goals sort of stats as well. So we're looking at sort of movement. We'll also be taking into consideration the consistency, because that's really, really important as well. But that's sort of goals, assists, I guess the distance that you've run, the movement, all that sort of thing, and of course the consistency. The better the average rating, the higher the average rating, the better the consistency. We also want to try and find a consistent striker as well. That, of course, has its importance. So we're going to start off with the first player we've got on the screen, and I mean, he's not a bad player, is he? And he's done very, very well this season. It's, of course, the Morecambe striker, Stockton. I'm going to look over the stats here. That's why I'm looking down. I've got a table here with all of those different stats and the categories and the criteria that I've mentioned. Cole Stockton's played 21 games this season. He's got 13 goals and 2 assists. That's 15 goal contributions already this season. He has been absolutely phenomenal. But for me, that conversion rate, and this conversion rate of 19% is absolutely brilliant. It might not sound amazing, but when you compare it to, remember, strikers get a lot of chances usually, and you'd hope to see them get a lot of chances. You can compare them to what we're going to see throughout the video and throughout the episode of the podcast. A 19% conversion rate is very, very good. He's also got an average rating of 7.07. Again, that's a very, very good average rating. If you can keep it above 7 after 22 games for a striker as well, that shows consistency in front of goal. And of course, you can see there with 15 goal contributions, he's not messing about in front of goal. So I'm going to put him in the elite number 9 category. I think he deserves it. I think he's been absolutely brilliant this season. You can see the stats there. Elite number 9. I think that's just where he deserves. I think that's just, I just think that was where he has to go. I'm not going to go in order because I've just realised that the order is actually... actually, no, I can go in order. I thought the order was actually how the tier list was going to go, but I've just realised it's not. So I'm going to go with Ross Stewart next, and I'm going to... Quick disclaimer, he's going straight in that elite number 9 category. Yesterday, they played against Sheffield Wednesday. Not Matty Taylor, we want Ross Stewart. He played against Sheffield Wednesday yesterday, Sunderland did, and Ross Stewart got another hat-trick. He was brilliant. He's played 24 games this season, 15 goals, no assists, but 15 goals. Absolutely brilliant. 20% conversion rate as well. 20% is absolutely top class, and an average rating of 7.3. So that consistency and that average rating, of course, you can see the goals are definitely going to help him with that average rating, but you can certainly see that consistency is absolutely spot on. 15 goals in 24 games is absolutely brilliant. For me, he's got to go in elite number 9. Sunderland are top of the league. He's the striker for the team at the top of the league already this season. He deserves to be nowhere else but elite number 9. I'm not going to go in the next player because the next two are very, very high up. That's all I'm going to say. So we're going to go back down. We're going to go with Ryan Hardie here for Plymouth. And, I mean, he was he sort of broke onto the scene, if you like, last season. But this season, again, he's doing very, very well. He's got played 23 games, got 9 goals and 4 assists, so 13 goal contributions. He's had 15 conversion rate, which is really, really interesting. But it's that average rating, a little bit lower at 6.77. Still a good average rating, but not the highest, and you can compare it to the Ross Stewart's and the Morecambe striker Cole Stockton's average rating this season. You can see there it is a little bit lower. But you've got to be honest, that 15% conversion rate is really, really good, and those 13 goal contributions with 9 goals and 4 assists as well. So it's a really nice split of helping the team out and also helping the team out when you're bagging goals. So I'm going to put him with he's up there. I think he deserves that. For me, sometimes you've got to prioritise that criteria. I think he's up there as fair. I like the goal contributions. I like the conversion rate. The average rating is a little bit low, but of course you've got to base it on those goal contributions, and that conversion rate is really, really important. Next, we're going to go with Ironside of Cambridge United. He's been absolutely brilliant this season, honestly. A player that I don't think has been given enough credit. I think he's been phenomenal. 23 games, 11 goals and 1 assist. Remember, it's a newly promoted side. It's a striker with 12 goal contributions, 11 of which were goals. A 26% conversion rate as well, which is so, so impressive. He's taking those chances. He's being very, very clinical in front of goal. The average rating's on the lower side slightly, but not really at all, I've got to be honest. He's less than 7, and you maybe would expect someone to have a 7 with those sort of stats. It is at 6.95, so maybe that consistency isn't always there. But 6.95 is still a very, very good average rating, just lower than the likes of Cole Stockton and Ross Stewart. For that reason, I am going to put him in, he's up there. And not elite number 9 because of that average rating. It's very, very harsh, but when we're looking at the strikers we're going to put in that he's that elite number 9 and the players we've already put in there, you can see it's greens across the board. It's greens for goals and assists, greens for conversion rate, and greens for average rating, which is above 7 average rating. So I think that's fair. He might move up. I might make a few changes come the end of it. But I think that his goal contributions, that conversion rate is phenomenal. And to have a newly promoted striker in the he's up there category, I think really shows how well he's done this season. Next time we're going to go to Shrewsbury to Daniel Udu. Is it Udu or Udu? I don't know how to pronounce the second name. It's a brilliant name, and he's done a brilliant job this season. 24 games he has played, 7 goals and 4 assists, a 17% goal conversion rate, and a 6.96 average rating. So a really, really good set of stats there. Over 10 in goal contributions with 11. A really nice goal conversion rate of 17, and that average rating there of just below 7. I think for me, maybe someone again that's gone a little bit under the radar, but look at those stats, he's done a fantastic job. I think he's up there sort of campaign. I think that's where he deserves. I think it's greens, like I said, across the board. The reason why I say greens is because for goals and assists, I've made it green if it's above 10. For conversion rate, it's higher than 15. I've gone with green, and it's above 6.9. I've gone with green as well, and he's got green in all above there. He's higher than all of that across the board. For me, he's up there. I think he definitely deserves that. He's got some really, really good stats next to his name. I think he definitely deserves to be in that he's up there category. Next, I'm going to go with Kane Hemmings of Burton. 3 goals, 2 assists, so 5 goal contributions in 17 games. He's got a 16% goal conversion rate, which of course is fairly good. I'd say, very, very good. And that average rating was 6.75. So it's a bit of a mixed bag with Kane Hemmings. It's not an amazing amount of goals and assists. It's a decent conversion rate, and it's a good conversion rate. He's not got a lot of goals and assists. It does suggest to me a little bit that Burton aren't creating that many chances for Kane Hemmings, and he's got an average rating of 6.75, which isn't awful, but it isn't in that top end. He's not in that top tier. For me, it looks to be like an average season for Kane Hemmings. I want to see more goal contributions for a striker. 3 goals in 17 games, it's not quite enough for me. Yes, he's got a decent conversion rate, but again, the average rating is a little bit low, showing that inconsistency. For me, I'm going to go with the average campaign for Kane Hemmings. Next, we're going to go with Callum Patterson of Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, he was on the side that got smashed 5-0 by Sunderland yesterday. Didn't get a goal again yesterday. And I looked at these stats for Callum Patterson, and I'm going to be honest, they're not that great. 2 goals and 2 assists in 19 games. That's 4 goal contributions in 19 games. 8% conversion rate, again, is not great at all. Below 10 on a conversion rate is not what we want to see. And an average rating of 6.92, which isn't bad at all. He's got a decent average rating, but the goal and contributions and that conversion rate is really, really poor. So I'm not going to put him in really struggling purely because of that average rating. If that average rating was lower, I think I'd have to put him in that struggling category. Because remember, we're basing this off these stats and basing it off him being a number 9 and being a striker. So I'm going to go with average season, and the only thing that's keeping him in there is because of that average rating, really. If that average rating was any lower, like I said, he'd have to go in really struggling because those goal contributions and that conversion rate is really, really poor. But I'm going to go with Callum Patterson in the average campaign category. Next, then we'll go with Iain Dowie of Bolton Wanderers. Let's see how well he's done this season. And this is quite an interesting one, really. 20 games, again, not many goal contributions. 4 goals and 5 assists. So 5 goal contributions in 20 games. It's not brilliant. It's not awful, but it's not brilliant. 10 conversion rate, again, is not bad. And the average rating is 6.75. All of which are very average, I'd say. The goal contributions aren't great, but they're okay. The conversion rate of 10 is fairly good. Again, it's compared to the top tier strikers we've seen and we're going to be ranking in this episode, it's not quite there either. An average rating of 6.75, again, it's not bad, but it's not great. So it's an average, really, isn't it? It's got to be an average campaign for Iain Dowie. Across the board there, statistically, he's looking fairly average. So I think that sort of is the perfect category for Iain Dowie. Next, then we've got Ollie Palmer of AFC Wimbledon, and he's got 4 goals this season, 2 assists. Only 14 games, actually, which is interesting. 4 goals and 2 assists, so 6 goal contributions, an 18% conversion rate, which is really, really quite good, and an average rating of 7.04. So actually, it's looking like a really quite good season for Ollie Palmer. I'm going to put him in good season. You can see there his average rating of 7.04 is really, really good. Not the most goal contributions, but a conversion rate of 18% is really, really good. He's in that sort of really quite high band when it comes to goal conversion. I'm going to go with good season for Ollie Palmer. Up those goals, we're going to look at he's up there. But I think that goal contributions is slowly lowering slightly. I think good season's the fair category for Ollie Palmer. Next up, then, we're going to go with the Lincoln City striker, Hakeem Adelukan. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. And straight away, he's going to have to go in that really struggling category because ultimately, he really is struggling. 1 goal and 1 assist in 19 games. That's 2 goal contributions in 19 games. A conversion rate of 3%, which is not good at all. And an average rating of 6.61. Like I said, when I colour-coded this, all of those 3 are in the red. He's in the red for goals and assists, conversion, and average rating. If you're in the red for those 3 very, very significant categories when being a striker, you've only got to be in one category, and that's the really struggling category. And while we're down there, we'll go with Joe Dudu at Doncaster. 17 games played, exactly the same as Hakeem Adelukan at Lincoln when it goes to goal contributions of, again, just 2. 4% average conversion rating, percentage, sorry. 1 higher than the Lincoln City striker, and the exact same average rating of 6.61. They almost mirrored the exact same stats there. Doty's played less games by 2, and he's got 1% better conversion percentage. But for me, he's still got going really struggling. Doncaster is struggling. His goal scorer is striking. And again, it's really quite interesting to look at that. You've got a Lincoln City striker, a Doncaster City striker, both of which very, very low statistically when it goes to goals. You can see there where they are on the league table as well. I think there could be something in that. So I apologise, but that's where they've got to go. Statistically, when we're ranking them, that's just where they fit in. Next, we're going to go to Fleetwood Town to rank Callum Morton. Callum Morton's played 18 games this season, 8 goal contributions, 4 goals and 4 assists, a 15% conversion percentage, again, is fairly good, an average rating of 6.88, which is pretty average. But again, that goal, 8 goal contributions, 15 conversion percentage for me, I think that's a good season, really. It's 2 oranges and a green in the colour coordination. again, 8 goal contributions in 18 games is not awful. Fleetwood are doing quite well as well now. They've got, of course, that caretaker manager, and and they've got a striker here that's helping the team out and being a good influence on the pitch. I think a good season for Callum Morton. I don't see anything there that suggests he should be any lower. I think he's just missing a few stats to sort of break into that top band. Me though, good season for Callum Morton. I think we can agree on that. Next, then we're going to go to Crewe. We're going to go with Michael Madron. He this season, I'm going to look at those games played. He has got 21 games played, so quite a few games played for Madron. 6 goal contributions, 5 goals and 1 assist, 17 conversion rate, and an average rating of 6.85. So I'd say fairly good, really. That conversion rate of 17% is really good. 6 goal contributions is really quite good and quite impressive as well. And that average rating of 6.85, again, is not amazing, like I said, but it's fairly average. But I think that conversion rate for me is really good. He's scoring goals as well in a quite weak Crewe side this season. I know they're getting better, but for a large part of this season, they were bottom of the league, quite struggling, and he's sort of been, I'd say, a shining light in that and doing fairly well. Good season for Madron. I'm happy to put him there based on the stats. Next, we'll go to Portsmouth, and actually finding a Portsmouth striker was the hardest bit of it. Some people would say trying to put all the data in a spreadsheet was difficult. Finding Portsmouth striker was also quite difficult as well. I started off with Harness, I then moved to Macauley, but then he didn't really get enough games played. He didn't really start a lot of games, and not really enough games played at all, really. And then we looked at Harrison, who hasn't got a lot of games. We had Luke Hurst as well, who's on loan this season. He hasn't really had enough games. So in the end, I've gone with Ronan Curtis, who was prominently a winger for the last few years, I believe. I know he has done. We've had to come across him as Oxford United fans quite often in the playoff semi-finals, of course. He's a very, very influential player in that game. Or those games, should I say. He's been playing up front this season, so I'm going to rank him off that. Ronan Curtis, for 3 goals, 4 assists, so 7 goal contributions in 21 games. That conversion rate, though, is 4% conversion rate, is not great at all. An average rating of 7, though, is fairly good. He's got a real mixed bag there. A good average rating, an average goal contributions, and a poor goal conversion rate. So for me, I'm going to have to put him in average season. It's such a mixed bag. I might even push him up to good season, because he's got 7 average rating. That's good. I think good season for Ronan Curtis. I'm going to go with that. It's that goal conversion rate that's slowing down. He could have more goals. He's not being as clinical as he could be. But yeah, I'm happy to put him in that category. Next, and we've got Bonne of Ipswich Town. He's played 23 games this season. He's got 11 goals. He's got a conversion rate of 22%, which is really, really quite impressive. And an average rating of 6.91. So good across the board, really. Good average rating of just under 7 at 6.91. Great goal conversion percentage of 22%. And great goal contributions of 11 goals. He's scoring goals. It's really, really important that he's doing just that. That's what he's there to do. That's why he's on loan from QPR in League One to score goals for Ipswich Town. For that reason, he's up there. He's doing well. Greens across the board. Some very, very important striker categories there. He's ticking all the right boxes. Next, we're going to go with Sam Vokes. And this could surprise a few people. This really could surprise a few people when it comes to stats. Because I expected, I won't lie, a little bit better from Sam Vokes. 22 games, 6 goals and 3 assists. 9 goal contributions there. 10% conversion rate, which again is average. And a fairly good average rating, actually, of 6.97. But those goal contributions I expect a little bit higher. The conversion rate, I expect a little bit higher as well. I want to go with good season. I think when people think Sam Vokes, they're going to think maybe elite number 9 or he's up there. But those stats, and again, we're basing it just on stats. I imagine he's very, very good at holding up the ball as well. So that would obviously be taken into consideration. But I don't have those stats on hand. So I'm going to just put him in good season based on those statistics. Purely based on that, it's a good season. It's not an elite season yet because of those goal contributions. 9 of them isn't great. 6 goals for Sam Vokes. I think he could do better than that. And a 10 goal conversion rate. He's put a little bit higher, suggesting he is having chances, but 90% of them aren't hitting the back of the net. So yeah, I'm going to go with good season for Sam Vokes. Hopefully it doesn't upset too many Wycombe fans. I imagine it might. Next, then we've got Vernon Oliver of Gillingham. 6 goals this season, no assists, so just the 6 goal contributions, but in 17 games, that's quite good. I'd say very good. 15 conversion rate as well, 15% conversion rate, which is good, and a really, really good average rating of 7.08. For me, I think that's a good season for Vernon Oliver. I'm looking across the stats there. 6 goals in 17 games is really good for a League One striker. We're looking at that conversion rate of 15%. Again, that's really quite promising. And an average rating of 7.08 is really, really good as well. For me, good season for Vernon Oliver. Next, then, we're going to go with Callum Lang of Wigan Athletic. 20 games this season. He's a young lad, of course. He's come through the Wigan Academy, and he's becoming a very, very much a fan favourite for Wigan fans. And he might already be there. I think he probably is. 8 goals and 4 assists. So he's above that 10 in goal contributions. Of course, it's sat at 12. 15% conversion rate again is really, really good. And an average rating a little bit lower, but still very, very good at 6.89. So very, very close to the 6.9 that we turned that to green. So it really could easily have been 3 greens across the board. Really good goal contributions for me. Really good conversion rate. Little bit lower on average rating. But to be honest, I'm looking at those goal contributions. I'm looking at conversion rate. For me, Callum Lang, he's up there for me. He's got to be, I think. Next, then, we're going to go with Matty Taylor of Oxford United. 21 games played, 10 goals and 1 assist, or 11 goal contributions across the board. A 20% conversion rate, which is really, really good. He's taking a lot of those chances. An average rating a little bit lower than 7, but still as close as you're going to get to 7, really, other than 1 digit. 6.98. For me, Matty Taylor, this season, he's showing in form, he's an elite number 9. I'm looking at those stats. Elite number 9 for me is where he has to be. Like I said, 11 goal contributions, a really high conversion rate, a really high average rating, greens across the board, elite talisman. I'm going to go with Matty Taylor, elite number 9. Next, then, we're going to go with Jaden Stockley of Charlton Athletic. 20 games played, 7 goals, 21% conversion percentage, which is really, really high. And an average rating of 6.95 as well, which is really, really high. Look at those stats again across the board. The goal contributions maybe could be a little bit higher, but in 20 games, to have a very, very good conversion rate and a really, really high average rating, for me, Jaden Stockley, and I've watched him play this season, he does hold up there really well. He's a big striker, big number 9, who causes problems for the opposition. For me, he's up there. He's doing very, very well. Some key stats there, really highlighting that he's up there this season when it comes to being a very, very good striker for Charlton Athletic. Next, then, we're going to Cheltenham. We're going to be speaking about Alfie May. Of course, 23 games played, 9 goal contributions, 13% conversion percentage, which again is okay. It's fairly decent. And an average rating of 6.92, which is good as well. For me, Alfie May's having a good season. For me, he's having a really, really quite good season. I could maybe put another category in there. Sometimes I do that and make it into a very good season or great season. He's having a very, very good season, but he has to go in the good season category. I don't think he's got the credentials and the stats yet to push him up to he's up there yet, but I think really good stats there for Alfie May this season. Like I said, 9 goal contributions with 7 goals in there for a newly promoted Cheltenham side. Really quite impressive. A 13% conversion percentage is decent, and 6.92 is really quite good. For me, it's good season, and it's got to be a good season for Alfie May. Next, then, we've got the Accrington Stanley man, Colby Bishop. 21 games played this season and 6 goals and 3 assists. So 9 goal contributions, 11% conversion percentage, which is again fairly good, and an average rating of 7.1, which is very good. So again, not a mixed bag, but that average rating is really good, showing that consistency, which is really important. The conversion rate of 11, like I said, is fairly average. 9% goals and assists, again, is good for a striker at Accrington Stanley. He's been linked with a move away as well to a top side, so he's got that potential as well. He's not an old player. For me, it's a good season for the Accrington man. I think a good season has to be where he goes. I think that's pretty fair. On the penultimate player, then, we've got MK Dons, and that's Mohamed Aissa. 16 games, 6 goals and assists, 14 conversion rate, and a 6.74 average rating. It's orange across the board, really. It's average goals and assists, goal contributions at 6. It's an average conversion percentage at 14%. It's an average rating at 6.74. For me, the averages across the board is an average campaign. Statistically there, he's looking... He's consistent across the stats, but the consistency for average rating is a little bit lower than I'd like to see. Same with the conversion percentage, and same with those goal contributions. It's an average campaign, though, for the MK Don striker. And I've left him last on purpose. For me, this is the best striker in League One this season. He's the player that I've highlighted to be the best. 18 goal contributions in 22 games. Michael Smith of Rotherham, 22 games played, a conversion percentage of 15%, which isn't the highest we've seen, but still, it's very, very good. And an average rating, which is the highest we've seen, of 7.44 for a striker. He's showing consistency. You can see they're holding up the Player of the Month award as well, along with the 3 players in that elite number 9. So it's a nice little look in. We'll put them in order just for the OCD basis. You can see them there, all wearing all holding up their Player of the Month awards, and I think they deserve it. And Ross Stewart, who's not holding up a Player of the Month award, certainly could be this season with a hat-trick yesterday against Sheffield Wednesday. That's what I've gone with then, ranking your club's striker this season based on form, based on the statistics. Of course, let me know in the comments down below. Are they slightly misleading? I want to hear from you, of course. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Like I said, if you want to see more of this, maybe we could do it for midfielders and defenders, let me know. I've been Jack, this is Me Fan Podcast. Take care, stay safe, and if this comes out before New Year, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2022. See you in a bit.